Miyetti Allah is a group of foolies. So in this group of Fulanis, we have professors, we have students, we have herdsmen, we have doctors, we have governors, we also have terrorists inside, or let me say bandits inside among them. So if Donald Trump would say, or if America said they have sanctioned Miyetti Allah, they mean that they sanctioned the entire Fulanis or what? That is where we are not clear, because it's just a group of people that they came together. So if Donald Trump would just go ahead and said he has sanctioned the sponsors of terrorism, if Donald Trump would said he has sanctioned the bandit, we are going to take serious. But to him to say he sanctioned Miyetti Allah, did Donald Trump really know what Miyetti Allah is? I don't think that man knows. He don't even know what Miyetti Allah is.
So the US lawmakers seek sanctions on Miyetti Allah orders over alleged religious freedom violation, or maybe over Christian genocide, as Trump would want us to put it. The United States House of Representatives has urged the Departments of State and Treasury to impose targeted sanctions on individuals and organizations accused of violating religious freedom in Nigeria, including the Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria and Miyetti Allah Kautal Hore. The call is contained in a resolution introduced on Tuesday this week and cited on the US Congress website. The measure comes days after President Trump declared Nigeria as a country of particular concern (CPC) and threatened possible military action over alleged killings of Christians. It was filed as H.Res.860 in the 119th Congress. The resolution was submitted by Representative Christopher Smith with Representative Paul Huizenga as co-sponsor. The sponsors commended Trump for redesignating Nigeria as a CPC and alleged that persecution of Christians and other minorities has continued to worsen. The resolution cites media reports, NGO findings, and testimony from religious leaders alleging large-scale attacks on civilians, the destruction of worship centers, and what it describes as a pattern of impunity. It references accounts of priests, pastors, and imams kidnapped or killed, as well as reports of intimidation of clerics who testified before Congress. According to them, for over a decade, Islamic terror organizations have carried out mass murder, rape, kidnappings, and other atrocities targeting mostly Nigerian Christians and non-Fulani moderate Muslim populations. The document states, supporters of the measure argue that the CPC designation would increase diplomatic leverage to push Nigeria toward accountability and strong protections for vulnerable groups. The resolution also recommends tying U.S. foreign assistance to demonstrable improvements in human rights safeguards, prosecution of perpetrators, and support for displaced communities. It further urges the state and treasury departments to impose sanctions, including visa bans and asset freezes under the Global Magnitsky Act, on individuals and entities deemed responsible for severe violation of religious freedom. It specifically names Makban, Miyetti Allah Kautal Hore, and calls for Fulani ethnic militias in Benue and Plateau states to be added to the entities of particular concern list. It also asks the State Department to provide direct humanitarian support to faith-based groups assisting internally displaced people in Nigeria's Middle Belt. The resolution has been referred to the House Foreign Affairs Committee and the Judiciary Committee for further consideration. If advanced out of committee, it will signal congressional backing for Trump's CPC decision and could pave the way for further legislative or executive actions. Meanwhile, I think yesterday or 2 days ago, Nigeria's federal government has rejected the US designation, saying it is based on a misunderstanding of country's security challenges. Minister of Information and National Orientation Mohammed Idris said on Wednesday that terrorism and violent crime have affected both Christians and Muslims, which is wrong, rejecting claims of state complicity. Any narrative suggesting that the Nigerian state is failing to take action against religious attacks is based on misinformation or faulty data, Mr. Idris said. Well, the one that even caught my attention is Senator Rabiu Kwankwaso. I don't even know who advised him. Anything that has to do with Christian and Muslim, let me just focus on Christian. You see a lot of Muslim political leaders, Muslim religious leaders, they want to jump into it, and just like the desperate Deputy Senate President Jibrin, Akpabio is trying to keep his calm, to know how to respond to Trump diplomatically. He's forcing himself. I'm a parliamentarian. I want to reply. Imagine a deputy Senate president want to reply, telling the Senate president that he knows that Senate president is afraid. He wants to talk. He wants to talk rubbish. So Senator Rabiu Kwankwaso jumped on his Twitter account and started commenting. He said, I have noted with increasing concern the heightened pronouncements of Nigeria by President Donald Trump. This follows his designation of Nigeria as a country of particular concern. It is important to emphasize that our country is a sovereign nation whose people face different threats from outlaws across the country. The insecurity we face does not distinguish based on religious, ethnic, or political beliefs. The United States should assist the Nigerian authorities with better cutting-edge technology to tackle these problems, rather than posing a threat that could further polarize our country. The Nigerian government should also consider appointing special envoys from its distinguished diplomats to engage the American government. Additionally, it is necessary to appoint permanent ambassadors to represent Nigeria's interest on the international stage. To my fellow countrymen, this is an important moment where we should emphasize unity of belonging over division. So after he dropped this bias, comment, the U.S. congressman replied himself, "Governor, do you care to comment on your own complicity in the death of Christians? You instituted Sharia law. You signed the law that makes so-called blasphemy punishable by death." The year 2000 was the year Kano State became one of the states that approved Sharia law. And who was the governor at the time? It was Rabiu Kwankwaso. He signed the law so that according to them, because what these people, these radical Muslims, radical terrorists, what they call as blasphemy is not even blasphemy. They say you say something against Muhammad. They say you say something against the Quran. To them, it's blasphemy. And they won't even allow the person to access to fair hearing. They will kill the person just like they did to Deborah, I think 3 years ago. So Rabiu Kwankwaso was the one who signed that Sharia law. Yes, he signed the law that makes so-called blasphemy punishable by death. And what is not even blasphemy? This other man said, this is the former governor of Kano State, Nigeria. Kano State is currently trying to execute people for alleged blasphemy under its Sharia law. So I want to believe that even by now, Kwankwaso must have deleted that tweet. I don't think it will still be. I've searched for it, I didn't see it. This is how BBC put it. The report of BBC as the year 2000. Kano, northern Nigeria's most populous state, is due to bring the Islamic legal code Sharia into effect from Sunday. Sharia was formally launched in Kano in June at a rally attended by hundreds of thousands of people, but it is only now that the laws will be fully introduced. The governor of Kano State, that's Rabiu Kwankwaso, has been under tremendous pressure to follow the example of several other northern Nigerian states in introducing a complete Sharia code. Sharia law or Sharia code is majorly, meant for non-Muslim, because we see them interpret this law most often to non-Muslims. If at all you call it blasphemy in your own understanding and in your own interpretation, why then is it that we see a lot of, if you go, like someone revealed to me in Bauchi, in Kano, there are so many Christians that are in jail over what they term blasphemy, over what they interpreted from their Sharia law as an offense, as a breakdown of rule, as an offense to the law. So this is why so many people are calling for a ban on Sharia law. We have secular laws. We have laws that guide our conduct and everything, and this is even enough. So why do we need Sharia law? And that's why they are trying now to push this Sharia law harder to some other states. It's almost all over the northern part of Nigeria. Every state in the north, core north, have Sharia law in full effect. And now they are trying to bring it to North Central. Sharia law is not in full effect in some, North Central, like Abuja, like Kogi State and Benue and all of that. But they are pushing harder for it. Why do we need Sharia law? Because they want to be taking laws into their hands. You meet somebody, you stone somebody to death because you believe the person offended Muhammad, the person says something against the Quran. It's terrible. And I'm glad that the US Congress men have come up to name Miyetti Allah, because Miyetti Allah should, even before now, be named as a terrorist organization. It's even coming late. Why do we have Fulani herdsmen killing people? Fulani herdsmen are armed more than the Nigerian military. They will run into a village and they kill everybody and they will go scot-free. So Kwankwaso has put himself into a big trouble. So US have now his record, because we are waiting for the list that will be coming from the US Congress, where they said they are going to specifically list the names of politicians, present and past, that have sponsored terrorism in Nigeria. It's obvious that Kwankwaso will be in the list, because the US congressman Riley Moore called him out. He was the one that signed Sharia law in 2000 when he was governor of Kano State. So it's obvious that he's going to be part of those that will be listed, and it's a shame. We would need them to, and in fact, religious leaders, the first one that will be in the list is Sheikh Gumi, this man who is saying a lot that we should not kill bandits, we should not kill Boko Haram, they are our brothers, they are freedom fighters. That man should even be at the top of the list. And it's not just about naming them in the CPC, particular concern list. They should even be jailed. These people should be jailed. They should be held accountable for so many deaths that have taken place in this country.